Greetings, fellow Earthlings, and welcome to Tales from the Hoop, a podcast dedicated to diving into the weird, wild, and wacky stories from basketball history. I am your host, Ricky Freck, and today I'm telling the story of one of the ABA's rocks to my brother.
Laser Dave.
Now, do you know the rocks of the ABA?
The Rocks of the ABA.
Yeah.
It was the name used for the championship rings that they
Now, what I
got
mean
after
by
they
rocks is
won.
like the consistent teams that were always there.
Oh,
They never left their hometown. They were consistently decent, if not good.
I see what you're saying. Did they call them that, or you? That's a term you coined.
In the book, which we use for I think there's three quotes in this one. Not a lot. This is not a quote heavy episode. Loose Balls by Terry Pluto. The chapter about the team we're calling or we're talking
Love.
about today is called blah, 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 one of the ABA's rocks.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yes,
We
it
love you,
is
Pluto.
fully plagiarized.
Does Pluto lay out who the rocks are?
No, but I can tell you.
You have
It's,
them? Can I hey, how many are there?
let's say four.
I think for content I should guess them.
I mean, that's literally what I told you to do. So, yeah, I
I
agree. You
thought you
should.
should guess the one we're talking about.
No, I said, do you know who the ABA's rocks are?
Great. Sorry, honestly, when you said that,
You don't listen to me, I
I
know.
thought you said what? Like that's why I was answering
Ah, I see.
I thought anyways, let me get there. Nets?
He's a little slow, ladies and gentlemen. And apparently I'm losing my voice. Nets, you said?
Yeah.
I would say Nets are not a rock of the
Fuck.
ABA because the Nets
Gosh.
moved around a lot.
Okay, Pacers,
Yes.
Spurs.
Yeah, I would say kind of. They're
So
like
they're the fifth team.
maybe.
Tams. Just kidding.
Hell no. The
Okay.
Tams.
Pacers. I don't even remember who there is. The
You know
San
what? Actually,
Francisco.
I'm gonna give you the Nets. I'll give you the Nets.
Okay, you'd say they are the four, one of the four?
Yeah, I think so. Just looking
Okay,
at it now.
one of the San Francisco teams.
One of. What do you
Yeah,
mean one of?
I don't remember their name, so just whichever.
There was never.
Conquistadors.
Oh,
I don't know.
definitely not them, but yeah, that's San Diego. Conquistadors were in San Diego.
Do they count?
No, they don't count. You're missing.
Okay.
I'll say you're missing two. We'll say Nets and Pacers are right, and there's two that we
And
have
we've
not
talked
talked
about.
about.
Oh, we haven't talked about one of them.
We haven't talked about either of these teams. We're talking about one
Hmm.
today, and then the other one in a later week.
I can't believe the Nets isn't like an auto. That's the only one I know
I'll give you a
from
hint.
before this exercise. I'll say that I've
I'll give
learned
you a
so
hint.
much.
One of these teams is still around. One is not. One of these teams has in the
Pistons,
last no. One of these teams in the last 5 years has won an NBA title.
the Bucks,
No, Bucks are an NBA
the
team. Also,
Nuggets.
yes, the Nuggets are one of the rocks of the
I thought Denver
ABA.
was the Tams.
Nope, nope.
I'm joking. I'm just joking. That's a joke.
And the last one is no longer around. We've talked about them many times, but we're not talking about them today. Today is
You
about the
just said we
Nuggets.
haven't talked about these two.
We haven't talked about the Nuggets. We haven't talked about the other
Okay.
team. Today we are talking about the Nuggets, and the other
I
team
see.
is the
Spirit of St. Louis.
Kentucky Colonels.
Ah, my favorite. I can't wait.
Okay. I
So
think I
excited for
told
that
you at one
episode.
point that they're named after uh
The
the
Colonel.
the
Yeah.
colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken. That is sort of correct, but also not really correct. And we'll get into why, but just don't get
Okay.
super excited that the colonel is going to also be involved in this
I
as
was
he
gonna
was.
bring a bucket of chicken to celebrate when we
He
talk about him.
he was involved in the Boston Celtics, but not actually involved in the Kentucky Colonels. But
Shoot. Okay.
anyways, here we go. In spring 1967, the ABA awarded one of its charter franchises to James Trindle and Kansas City, Missouri.
Hmm. I love Kansas City,
Unfortunately,
Missouri.
what?
I love Kansas City,
Never
Missouri.
been.
Shout out.
I've been to Kansas City, Kansas, but never Missouri. I think the Missouri
Gross.
side's better.
Yeah, way better.
Wow, how rude to
The
Kansas.
Kansas side is like gentrified.
I hope we don't have any Kansas listeners out there. I
I love
love your
Kansas
state.
in general. I just don't like.
I like every city in that state except for Lawrence.
Shout out Manhattan. Love Manhattan.
Yeah, the Little Apple.
Yeah. Kansas is great. Good
Nah,
roads. Good roads.
they do have Lawrence, and I hate Lawrence with a fiery passion.
Is that where the
That's where the Jayhawks
University
play.
of Kansas is?
Yeah,
Rock Chalk, baby. What are you talking about?
shut up. I hate you.
No, I like K-State better.
I think Kansas, and it's weird now because OU and Texas have left the Big 12, but I think Kansas is now my least favorite team in college
Oh,
football
come on.
or in college sports
I love
because
Kansas State. The Wildcats.
K-State is. I respect Kansas State, but they definitely have been the reason behind a lot of my angst in my life growing up.
Because they're not supposed to be good and then they
And then they're
whoop
really good. Yeah.
Oklahoma State. Yeah.
They'll have like a four-string quarterback show up and you're like, "Oh, we're going to win this game easily." And then he goes off for like 500 yards or something wild. All right, so they were in Kansas City, Missouri. Unfortunately, Trindle couldn't secure a suitable arena for the ABA.
Hmm.
So ABA Commissioner George Mikan said, "Hey, you know what you should do? Why don't you take the team to Denver? Because that's very
Yeah.
similar."
Why not?
So he brought in his friend, or not his friend, but a guy he knew from playing Vince Moose Borila,
Okay.
Boryla. I should have looked it up, but did not. He's a former one-time All-Star with the New York Knicks, played
Okay.
for like a decade, and he became the Denver team's first GM.
Okay.
So
It's not, you sure it's not Bolea
maybe, I don't know.
related to Hulk Hogan? My bad.
Okay, we can't talk about him on this podcast. We don't have enough time. Trindle and his group decided to call the team. Can you guess the first name of Denver?
Uh, Sorry. You said the first name, meaning like they're the Denver.
Their first nickname, the Denver
Okay. Before
Blanks.
they were the Nuggets, the Denver Mountain Tops.
Ooh, a good guess because it does definitely have something to do with the state, but it is not the mountaintops.
The Denver Timbers.
If I told you it was their state bird, could you tell me the Colorado state bird?
The Denver. What's like a mountainous bird?
I guess this one, but I don't know. I couldn't have told you before I saw this.
Eagle.
The Denver Larks.
Lark?
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
which is apparently a state bird. However, before they could open the stadium or the team up, Trindle was struggling to come up with money. So Mikan essentially gave the team a $100,000 ultimatum. He was like, if you don't have
Okay.
enough money by this date, you have to get rid of the team. A few hours before the deadline, Trindle sold two-thirds of the team to a man named Bill Ringsby. Now,
Nice. Okay.
I know
Great way to get money.
our father's listening to this. If
Okay.
you don't know who Bill Ringsby is, Mr. Freck, you're a failure because
Oh, yikes.
he's involved in your business, as we're about to find out. In 1925, a man named Harry Ringsby founded a trucking company called Ringsby Truck Lines. It specialized in LTL services. Now, people might not know this.
We love LTL.
We are the sons of a trucking man. Dave,
Yep.
do you know what LTL stands for?
Long-term lines.
Wow. Uh, no.
Oh, wait.
Wait, what?
LTL.
Wait. It's not LTL. LTT. Because
LTT.
this is not LTL. What I've written down is not LTL because it's LTT. So maybe I wrote
Long-term
down
transit.
the thing I was reading about Harry Ringsby says it's less than truckload services. I don't know what that means.
Oh
Maybe I'm
my
wrong.
gosh. Probably like those little box trucks they drive around. Like it's not a semi worth of stuff. It's like a
Yeah,
it's like a
but that's
it's like
not
a
LTL.
U-Haul.
That's not those are not the right letters. I just realized that when I read it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird. Okay, anyways, so he operated a network of terminals throughout the Mountain and Pacific states.
We should have
The
had that on this episode. Golly,
the
could
Ringsby
have cleared
truck
so much up.
lines were best known for their Peterbilt 451 cabs, which were painted a bold red and often referred to as rockets.
Ooh, rockets. Love it.
Harry's son Bill took over and was one of the early adopters of computerized routing systems.
Okay. Computerized
So it
routing.
gave him a big up leg up on his competition in terms of efficiency and scheduling.
I've heard that computerized routing was a big deal back then.
Now, this is, of course, late. That's, of course, later. That didn't happen until the 70s. And then in the 80s, like most trucking companies, when it got deregulated, had its struggles, but we're not going to get into that today because it doesn't matter for our story.
Quickly, I do
Yeah.
have a point on that. I learned this recently.
Uh-huh.
The and I don't know, this might be I might be giving away trade secrets, but I believe this is just something I heard on the streets. This isn't confirmed.
Okay.
The head of our now defunct family trucking company
Uh-huh.
got donated a lot of money to Oklahoma legislature
Yeah.
to make us the last state to deregulate
Let's
the
go.
trucking industry. And so we probably survived like 20 years longer than we should have because we had a guy on the inside that was making sure that we were locked down and
So
UPS couldn't compete.
you're saying we wouldn't be born if not for insider
Pro-
trading.
Probably.
Wow. Look at that, everybody. It's not so bad. Okay. If
Again,
some
completely unconfirmed
if some
rumors.
random person just gives the government $130 million to pay for uh troops to keep working, it's okay.
Okay.
Children are going to be born because of that. And someday they'll go on to have a really bad podcast about basketball. It's
That's
worth
right.
it.
That's right.
Okay, so Bill, oh, excuse me,
Ringsley.
Harry's, okay, I said that. Harry's first son, Bill, took over and he was an early adopter of computerized routing systems. However, he's best known as the first owner of the Denver Rockets, naming
Ooh.
the team after his family's trucking business. So they were technically called the Larks at the start, but they never played a game as the Larks.
Okay.
But they did
Fun.
start life as the Denver Rockets, which is confusing because, as you probably know, there was this. We will talk about this probably in more depth later, but of course, there was a team in San Diego called the Rockets, who then shut down, and then they opened a team in Houston called the Rockets. So
Too many
there's a
rockets.
Rockets in the ABA and NBA, which makes it confusing.
Fun to think that if uh, the deregulation would have gone a different way and our company would have blown up in a big way, that our team would be called the Beavers. You know, that's a good basketball name.
The Oklahoma City Beavers, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I will say it is. It's very weird to have grown up constantly wearing merchandise that says Beaver Express and never once thinking, oh, this could be a sexual thing.
You
And
never thought that?
no, not once
I feel like that was my first thought.
until I became an adult. And
Oh,
then
okay.
I went to other people like, you're wearing that? And I'm like, yeah, it's my dad's trucking company. And they'd be like, you know what that means, right? And I'd be like, oh no. And then I went to a Memphis Tigers basketball game and got berated by a man that was friends with my now wife's father.
I don't know if it was just the age in which I came up, but I remember wearing a shirt to school that said "eager to serve you" and thinking, "Man, this is so I can get away with this, and I can't believe that I can get away with this."
Never once in my life did I consider that a thing until someone pointed it out to me when I was a
Mm.
grown adult.
Oh yeah, I was proud to be wearing that shirt in eighth grade.
All right, so during the first season, the team was coached by a guy named Bob Bass, who you might not remember, but we did talk about him quite a bit in the Miami episode.
Mm.
As you will come to find out, there's a lot of kissing cousins in the ABA, a lot of people trading around quite a bit.
I feel like there has to be.
Yeah, there was only like 9 teams, so
Yeah.
it's pretty limited. So they were led by Byron Beck and Larry Jones. The
Okay.
latter made the All-Star team behind 23 points and 8 rebounds, and that duo was joined by a guy named Lonnie Wright, who has the
Mm.
interesting distinction, and he was not bad at either of these things, but he was also playing for the Denver Broncos in the AFL. So he is the
Okay.
first player to play pro football and pro basketball in the same season.
Mm.
And
Okay.
I think he was averaging like 17 points a game. So he's not bad. He's just kind of an athlete.
Mm.
So during that
Okay.
first year, the Rockets were solid, but they lost to a familiar foe for us, Doug Moe and Larry Brown's New Orleans Buccaneers, who won, I believe they won the first championship, but definitely made it pretty far in the playoffs. Actually, it might have been it doesn't matter. The second season was pretty similar. Jones and Beck both made the All Star team, though this time they had a guy named Wayne Hightower joining them, and he was also in the All Star team, so had 3 All Stars in year 2. Now, again, there's only 9 teams, so A lot of teams had a lot of all-stars, but still,
I was gonna say you keep get like giving these stories, and they all it seems like they all have so many all stars, and I'm just like, where does it end? You know?
just
But
wait because
there's not that
it gets pretty wild here in a few minutes.
great.
In the first round, they took the Oaks to 7 games. The Oakland Oaks, of course, led by Rick Barry, but couldn't
Oakland
finish the
Oaks.
deal. So they were out again in round one, in year two. So the owners knew they needed to improve. So they decided to do something drastic. The Rockets signed undergraduate phenom Spencer Haywood.
Oh, okay, I know
So
that name.
Spencer Haywood had played 1 year in JUCO and 1 year in D1 basketball with Detroit Mercy, and he was one of the first players to jump to the pros before finishing college. There were, of
Okay.
course, protests from the NCAA, the NBA, and even a few ABA owners, but the ABA had an ace up its sleeve. So here is Mike Storin describing how it all went down. When the ABA signed Haywood, we knew the whole basketball world was about to go crazy. There was a group of us, Bill Ringsby, Dick Tinkham, Scott Arnold, Jack Dolph, and myself, and we were trying to figure out what we could say about this. I can't recall who first came up with the term hardship case, but one of us did. There was no legal research or anything. We just invented the term.
Love it.
So we came out and said that Spencer was a special case. He had to take care of his mother and his 9 brothers and sisters.
Oh,
He was the breadwinner in the family, and the ABA was being a bunch of great guys by giving Haywood a chance to take care of his family.
yeah, that's great.
And so let me just read the opposing opinion from
Okay.
sports writer Bob Ryan, who you might know
Oh,
from
come
Part of
on,
the
Bob
Interruption
Ryan.
or Part of the Interruption, Around the Horn, stuff like that. When Haywood turned pro, my opinion was the same as Red Auerbach's and virtually everyone else's in the NBA. We thought it was un American,
Oh my, come on, Bob Ryan. Get over it.
uh, that it would tear down the structure of sports and would lead to chaos.
Oh my gosh.
It had nothing to do with Haywood's ability. He averaged 30 points a night in college, nor was the constitutional question about his right to earn a living under consideration. Rather, it was changing the system. The sports world was a simple, uncomplicated place until the ABA came along and screwed things up.
Oh my gosh.
That was the prevailing view, and it was mine for a long time.
Yeah, thanks, old man. Let's go back to profiting off of free labor.
Yeah.
Everyone, please.
Yep.
Stupid.
What a guy. What a guy that Bob Ryan. I think he's come around, but still, a wild thing to say. Even in
Yeah,
1992 when
ridiculous.
this came out or when this book came out. Okay, so
I
Haywood,
know that he's averaging 30 points a game, but it's ridiculous.
yeah,
We've gone too far.
we can't change the system. It's so perfect, right? The
Yeah.
world was really. Sorry, I won't get political again. I about did. Haywood quickly proved that he was much too good for the college game. The big guy in his first season of professional basketball averaged 30 points and 19.5 rebounds to win the Rookie of the
Mm,
Year and MVP in his first season.
yeah. Love it.
And the Rockets even got out of the first round of the playoffs, taking down Rick Barry's Capitals in 7 games before getting dropped by the team we talked about last time out, Mac Calvin, Willie Wise, and the LA Stars.
Nice.
So things seem great on the surface, but you've been listening to these stories long enough to know that we're about to take a turn.
We're getting traded to a different city.
Uh, that's not what happens, but
Okay.
something just as not dire.
Regional. We're going
Some
regional.
you understand that these are the same Denver. This is the same Denver team that exists now, right?
Nope, didn't know that.
Okay, you don't have to worry about
Locked
that
in.
stuff happening. What you
Okay.
do have to worry about is Spencer Haywood.
Oh
Haywood
no.
played in 2 exhibition games, but he was annoyed at how the pay was structured in the ABA. So I think I've told you this before, but essentially what they would do is like they would say, "Oh, we're going to give Spencer Haywood $1.9 million," which was like an astronomical
Yeah.
sum. No one, the year that they signed Haywood, their most expensive player was I think Byron Beck at $23,000 a year.
Okay.
And they said they were going to pay Haywood $1.9 million over the course of his contract. Now, how that worked, and I think I've said this before, so I'm apologize if you remember this, but just for the people who are maybe new, is that they would actually pay him a certain fee. Let's just say it's $20,000. They pay him
Yeah.
$20,000 a year for 5 years or whatever, however long the contract was. And then what they would do is they would put money in a savings account like an investment fund for him that would start to pay out when he was 45 years old.
Mm,
So in some ways they're helping him, right? Because they're like setting him up for the future, but they're also helping themselves because they don't need to actually come up with $1.9 million. They need to come
yeah.
up with enough money that will then become that in theory down the line. So
Yeah.
they did this a lot, a lot, a lot. They would like throw out these huge numbers. And then when they actually got their check, it was like, oh, that's not what you said it was going to be. So
Right.
that was very common. So Haywood got pissed and decided to bolt to the Seattle Supersonics in the NBA. The Rockets, of course, filed several lawsuits, but he never came back to the team. However, and this, well, we've actually talked about this a little bit before when we talked about Moses Malone, because Spencer Haywood is the focal point of a landmark Supreme Court case, which went in his favor 7-2, that opened the doors for high schoolers and underclassmen to jump to the pros. So without Spencer Haywood, we wouldn't have like LeBron James or all those guys that jumped immediately. We also, people we would have, like Wimby would still be in college.
Yeah.
All those guys, Cooper Flag still be in college. All those guys,
Yep.
so he kind of opened the doors for a lot of guys to go faster, further. But that does not have much to do with the Rockets outside of the fact that they were the ones that started the whole thing off. So with Haywood gone, the fans had a revolt. They hated Ringsby. They blamed him for Haywood leaving, and what had previously been a very strong fan base essentially evaporated. They went from averaging like 6 to 7,000 fans a night to like 3 to 4, which
Damn.
still is a lot of people, but it's a huge drop, right?
Yeah.
They also went 30-54, and in the playoffs, they used to have a tiebreaker. So if they were tied, they would play a tiebreaker game to see who the last team to make the playoffs was.
Okay.
And they lost to the Texas Chaparrals for the
I was
last
like
spot in the playoffs.
they were 30-54 and almost made the playoffs.
I mean, have
Kind
you
of
seen
scary.
the East? Have you seen the East? I'm just
I
saying,
didn't. We didn't say it.
it wouldn't be that surprising.
We didn't say it.
And 10 teams make it now. That back then it was only, there was like 4 teams
It's
made it.
crazy that. Yeah. And
So
I get that it's not actually 10 that make it, but I do think it's two-thirds of your conference making it is a little
yeah,
bit
I
crazy.
I hate it. I wish that I want them to go back.
I do feel like we did add two teams and then go eight, 8-8.
What do you mean? Add 2 teams? I see what you're
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
32 teams total, 16 total teams make the playoffs.
Yeah, but there's more money in having it. So I know they're going to keep it, but I think like you shouldn't get an extra shot. If you can't make it, you can't make it. You
Yeah,
shouldn't get to play a one-off game is for that it, the NBA is too long. First of all, that's the real problem, right?
yeah.
So my issue is that they play 82 games to decide who's going to make the playoffs, and then they play one game to see if they get in the play. Like what are we doing? Why do we play so
Well,
many
it's
games?
also like if you're there at the end, if you're in the 9 seed, your last 10 games should be the intensity of a play-in game.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Yeah, I hate it. I can't
it's
stand
not
it.
that crazy.
But there's more money in it, and as we have seen, they care a lot more about making money than anything else,
It's all about that money, baby.
including. Uh,
FBI gambling money.
that thing is so stupid.
It's gonna be no. I think it's crazy. I think it's gonna go nuts.
What do you
I
mean?
think I think there's gonna be so many people named.
I don't think so. I think it is. I don't trust the government that doesn't even know the team names that they're bringing a good case, especially when the NBA investigated it like 2 years ago.
I think there are maybe not all in the NBA, but I think there's gonna be a ton of people named in like this. They've been hosting
The betting
fixed poker
things,
games. Yeah, for sure.
and that's the other thing that's annoying about it to me. And sorry, I'll get off this tangent right after this, but I see so many people online that are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe there are players betting on games so much. That's why it's happening all the time." I'm like, first of all, have you been? I know you're an NFL fan. Have you not been paying attention to the NFL where this is happening like way more prevalently? Like
Yeah,
multiple people have been suspended for several years. Second of all, like the betting on prop bets for the basketball games is like the least big, like that's the smallest issue in this whole thing. The big thing is the gambling, like has
yeah,
nothing to do with basketball.
right.
So I don't
Also,
understand. People are like, this we got to get sports betting out of sports. I'm like, I agree with you, but for you to be like, this is the catalyst for it, and you don't even understand the actual issue is wild.
Yeah, I do. I think
People are
it's
so
always
ignorant.
funny when people are like, I can't believe they're doing it. I'm like, no, they're the only, like, the only time I would bet on sports is if I was an athlete who knew I could get the outcome I needed, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
should be bet. No, I'm sorry, they shouldn't, but
Yeah.
like,
No, they should not.
of all the
Well,
people with incentive to put money down on a prop, they know what they can
yeah.
accomplish when they go into game. So,
It's so
just
wild.
saying.
I just don't. I think you should. I don't know. I wish they could get rid of it completely, but also I don't care about. Like I have never bet on sports and never will. So I know that there's a lot of money in it and people like it, but I think it's such a racket. Get out.
I
Stop
know,
doing it. Look.
I know this
Hey,
is
you know that GIF?
unpopular.
Hey, you know that? Look at me. Look at me. People watching this. You know that GIF where Michael Jordan says, "Stop it. Get some help." This is me saying that to you. If you're gambling on sports, go to therapy. Go to therapy. Hug your loved ones.
Oh, come
Stop
on.
gambling on sports. Okay, go ahead.
I know this is unpopular, but I think we should popularize it and you should know like which players are more likely to bet on themselves. So then it's harder to bet because you're like, well, I know Terry's always trying to
Mm,
go under, so should I go the over on him? I'm not sure.
that's wild.
He should have like way better odds, you know, because you never know what's gonna happen.
The bad thing is I just said I gave that nice little PSA there, and then if this podcast ever becomes popular, you'll probably hear betting ads on it because that's all every
I
sports
will.
podcast you hear betting
Oh yeah,
ads. So
I'll take DraftKings money all day,
all right, so
and I'll put it all back in the app. DraftKings, reach out to me, please.
in 1972, the team brought in the ABA legend Alex Honnum as the coach and executive. So this is wild. This
Never heard
guy,
him.
oh, that's crazy. But I mean, not it's not. I shouldn't say it's crazy. He is very, as we'll talk about in a second. He is very prolific as a coach.
A big
But
deal. Okay,
he was essentially given like complete control over the team. Like he could do anything
nice,
you wanted. He ran everything.
nice.
He'd
He's
won
like the
NBA.
Trump of Denver.
Yeah, basically. He'd won NBA titles with St. Louis in 1958 and Philly in 1967, and also picked up an ABA championship in 1969 before joining Denver. He had so much control that he had the team change its colors and uniform and then pretty much completely overhauled the roster. He and his wife were they were like she was like the secretary and they did everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Yeah.
They did ticketing, everything you can imagine, they did it. That year, the Ringsby also was dealing with some financial troubles with his trucking business. We know that pretty well. And
Yep.
he sold the team to San Diego businessmen Frank Goldberg and Bud Fisher.
Mm.
So with new owners and Hanum, it wasn't an instant turnaround. The Rockets went 34 and 50, so a four-game improvement, and they actually made it into the playoffs this time, where they lost to the Pacers in the first round. But the fans were coming back, and hopes were high. The star shooting guard was Ralph Simpson, and
Okay.
Coach Hanum brought in Warren Jabali to play point in 1973. And Jabali is a guy who I'm pretty confident, like not a lot of people have heard of or remember, but he was definitely like a ABA fixture, right? He was always in the All Star game, always really solid.
He was Wimby's teammate in France, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
Warren Jabali, yeah, he was there.
I'll see myself out.
The Rockets upped their record to 47 and 37, but then those pesky Pacers were there in round one again, and they lost. Then in 1974, again, everything seemed to be going right, and for whatever reason, the team completely fell off the map. They're just really bad. There's no real like good reason for it. They just sucked, and attendance dipped again. And Denver was worried, or at least the owners were, because they were about to move into a state of the art arena that held 18,000 fans, and they were currently drawing four.
Hmm.
Not 4,000, not four total
Yeah,
fans.
okay. That's a good signal.
That would be like Miami,
Clarification.
Floridians numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so the move to Nichols Arena is looming. Goldberg and Fisher are very concerned about what's going to happen, so they decide to make a major change. They say, hey, Mr. Hanum, we know you have won 3 titles in your career, but also you are like the biggest disciplinarian in sports, and all the players hate you, and you run this place like it's you're like a drill sergeant. So
Okay.
you're gone. You're not going to be the GM. the coach, the president, you're doing nothing. You're gone completely. You and your wife, out of here, mister.
Okay.
The San Diego duo decided to bring in a former player and a former opponent. Can you guess who? Now, I haven't actually mentioned that he played for the team, but I have mentioned him previously.
This is a player
He used
or
to be, he is now going to be the
okay,
coach.
he's going to
He used to be a
coach.
player.
Used to be a player, and it's not Rick Barry.
It's not Rick Barry.
He won't
No,
move
he's still
anywhere.
playing.
Um, it's not George Mikan.
Nope, not George Mikan. It's a player that I didn't mention he played for the team, but I have mentioned him in this podcast.
It's not Dick Tinkham.
Just
So,
naming names.
so that would mean that I'm just trying to think of a name that it could be. So that would he did play for this team.
He did, but I did not mention that he played for this team before. I just mentioned he played for another team.
Gotcha. So he played. So it is.
He played for the New Orleans Buccaneers when I
Oh my
mentioned him.
gosh! Yeah, I remember you saying Buccaneers too.
He is in the Hall of Fame
No way.
as a
Al
coach.
Alex English.
Larry Brown was going to be the new
Oh
coach,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
and
You
they
did say
named
him.
Carl Shear as the GM and president. So the duo went about rebuilding the team. First, Brown brought in his old friend, Doug Moe, to be his assistant coach.
Larry Brown and Doug Moe.
And then the owners decided the Rockets were going to be no more. As of 1975, they would be the Denver Nuggets.
Does that have anything to do with the NBA Rockets, or they just
Oh, I think
changed
they
it
just
for
wanted
fun?
it to be like more about the area.
More
And
Denvery.
they were like, Bill Ringsby hasn't owned this team for 4 years. Why are we still named after him?
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
So Brown and Doug Moe, if you don't know, which you might not, they played together, of course, in the ABA quite a bit, but they actually played college ball together at North Carolina. And so they used their connections to Dean Smith and UNC to pull off one of the biggest coups of the year. They signed a guy named Bobby Jones. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of
Oh,
him?
no, I don't think
Really?
so. I
I guess
mean,
that's
the
not
name
that
sounds
surprising.
vaguely familiar, but
It's like the most common name ever.
yeah.
Of course, he sounds familiar. Okay, so Bobby Jones was a North Carolina player, and he was signed or not signed. He got drafted by the Houston Rockets, which is interesting, in
Okay.
the NBA. But
Yep.
he decided that he wanted to go with Larry and Moe. So the Nuggets still had Ralph Simpson, who was pouring in 21 points a night and was a perennial All Star. They also that year brought in the ABA's greatest speedster, who we've talked about before. Mac Calvin was going to run point. Byron Beck was still with the team, and he actually this is kind of wild. He went to school. So this, I mean, this isn't that wild, I guess, when I really think about it. He went to school at the University of Denver, and he played his entire career with Denver in the ABA and NBA. He never left Denver. So
Okay. Nice.
that's not that rare back in the day because they had like territorial picks to try to bring in fans because they'd be
Yeah.
like, oh,
There's
this
all
guy.
kinds of people that didn't want to move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would be like, oh, this guy played for Memphis, so we got to give him to Memphis because more fans will come see him if he plays in Memphis.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty common when I think about it. But joining Byron Beck in the front court were Mike Green, David Rosich, and of course, Bobby Jones, who finished in second for Rookie of the Year voting, and as a rookie, made the first team all defense roster.
Okay.
So remember, the year previously, they had gone 47-37,
Hmm.
lost in the first round of the playoffs. In Larry Brown's very first year, the team went 65-19,
Good Lord.
40-2 at home,
Oh
a
my
record
Lord.
that would not be broken until the Boston Celtics in 1986,
Good Lord.
which is
Wow.
wild that Boston lost one game at home in 86.
Yeah.
And that maybe has been tied, but it definitely has not been. I don't think anyone's gone undefeated at home that I know of, but I could
The
maybe wrong.
Thunder were 40-2, right? Last year?
You would know way better than I would because I would have no idea. Are you
Keep
looking it
going.
up?
Yep.
Wow, look at you. Is he even while he's looking this up, ladies and gentlemen, can I tell you that not one night ago, I messaged this man who proclaims to be an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. And I said something about the game, and he was like, "Oh, that's crazy." And I was like, and then he goes, "This thing happened in starting five." And I said, "Why are you watching a Netflix show instead of the game of your favorite team?" And he goes, "Oh, I didn't even know they were playing tonight."
Totally forgot.
What is
Totally,
wrong with him?
totally my bad, y'all.
I'm not even a fan, and I was over there watching. I mean, I
It
was
was
just
a
watching to watch
turned out to be a
basketball, but
great game.
yeah, they've had two really good games. We maybe we'll talk about at the end some current day stuff. But have you found out what did they go last year at home? Have you found it out?
I can't find it.
All right, we're gonna move on then. So they
Yeah, my
finished with the
bad.
best record in the West. They dropped the Utah Stars in the first round, and then they did take the Pacers to 7 games in the Western Finals. Unfortunately, they did lose that game, but Carl Shear, had a plan. So
Hmm.
here is his plan in his own words. If, wait, oh, I went to the wrong page. If I can find it.
Okay.
After that season, I wanted to do something dramatic to make us viable for the NBA. Remember, they knew that it was coming.
Yeah.
When I first came to Denver, the football team owned the city. The few people who still paid attention to the ABA were bitter because Spencer Haywood had jumped leagues. Denver is a new city with people from all over the country, many of whom came from NBA towns. They thought the ABA was a minor league. We were determined to sign David Thompson. Is that a name you know?
Yeah.
Do you actually know? Because it didn't sound you didn't sound very confident.
He's in the Spurs before Tim Duncan.
Oh Lord. Okay.
The Admiral, David Thompson.
That
You're welcome, world.
oh God, man. It's a rough one. Okay. So nowadays I'm just gonna read what I wrote because I'm not even gonna
Fair enough.
that doesn't need a response. Nowadays,
Keep it
David
rolling, folks.
Thompson, what?
Keep it rolling, folks.
David Thompson is an often forgotten player by NBA fans, like this guy here, but it's hard
Yeah.
to overstate how good he was in his heyday. In 3 seasons at NC State for college, his team lost just 7 games.
Good Lord.
He now he only won one title. So and the reason for that is a little complicated. First, his sophomore season, the team did not lose a single game.
Okay.
They went undefeated. However, there was some recruiting violations around David Thompson, so they were banned from postseason play. So he did not play for the title his second season.
Yikes.
His third season, which would be his junior year, and of course they always skipped their freshman season back in the day. They couldn't play varsity their first freshman season, so he didn't have that
Hmm.
first season. In his junior year, they went 30-1, won a national title. In his senior season, they went 22-6, and the way it used to work is if you didn't win your conference, you couldn't play in the NCAA tournament. So
Okay.
they didn't. I don't think they even played in the NCAA tournament
That's
that year.
crazy. Yep.
But that rule changed because the year previously they had his team NC State had knocked out like this dominant Maryland team and won a game against them and then they went on. So it was like the two best teams played, but a month before the national championship.
Hmm. Yeah.
So he was a one-time champion, a 3-time first-team All-American selection, and a 2-time National Player of the Year. So he was the best player in the country his junior and senior seasons. In so many words, most viewed him as the second coming of Julius Erving. He could do pretty much
Ooh.
everything. He was just an
Okay.
all-around great player. Could jump out the gym. He didn't have like they always talk about like Dr. J having massive hands, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have that. That was like the one thing that was different between them, but he was just could do anything. He was the first pick in the NBA and the ABA, but he decided to play for the Nuggets. So here is Carl Shear and also David Thompson himself describing how it happened. So this is our longest quote. So strap in, ladies and gentlemen. Dave, if you want to jump in, feel free. But this is our longest and last quote from the book Loose Balls by Terry Pluto.
Thanks, Pluto.
Carl Shear. David had led NC State to a national champion and seemed like the second coming of Julius Erving. I wonder where I got that from. He was
Hey.
so good that was exciting. The team that signed David Thompson was going to be part of the merger, or at least that was my feeling. Virginia had the draft rights to Thompson, but our drafts were hilarious. We said, hey, look, we know for a fact we can sign Thompson. So Virginia said, because they didn't want him to go to the NBA, said, great, go ahead, do it. We'll give up the rights. You just go sign the best player in the college basketball. That's fine.
Okay.
Since Larry Brown and
Virginia was the NBA team?
Virginia was an ABA team, Virginia Squires.
Okay. Okay.
And they were
And they
just
were
like, oh,
just giving
we
up.
don't think we can afford him, even though we have the rights.
Yeah.
You just go sign him because we don't want him to go to the NBA. That was very common. They'd
Yeah.
just be like, oh, we don't want him to leave. So just you go do it. It's no big deal. Whatever.
Good for the game. Yeah.
Good for the league, not the game. Good for the league.
All right. Yeah.
That's all we care
Yeah. Yeah.
about. Since Larry Brown and I, because as we'll talk about when we get to a later team, like literally at this point, all the owners care about is making it to the NBA so they can get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like
A
they don't care
buyout.
if their team is good. They just want to make it to the NBA.
That's so crazy.
Since Larry Brown and I had worked for the Cougars and we both had gone to college in North Carolina, we had a lot of contacts in the state. We had watched David grow up as a basketball player. We knew his high school and college coaches. We knew David's father quite well. We spent a lot of time in his hometown of Shelby trying to figure out what made David tick, what he wanted. We really recruited him like a college would a high school kid. It's wild to think about. Can
Okay.
you imagine
Great. Yep.
like just showing up at LeBron's house and like talking to your free. I don't know who his first coach was. I was gonna say Mark Brown, but I don't think that was Mike Brown. Excuse me, but I think that
Yeah.
was later. Just showing up. Actually, it might have been Larry Brown. Was Larry Brown his first coach? No, I don't think so. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We knew that a 5'7" guard named Monty Toe was his best friend on the NC State team, so we signed him in Denver.
Hey, I feel like that's getting very prominent in the sports world.
I mean, it's been a college move forever, right? Like
Yeah.
remember when OU signed Taylor Griffin the year before Blake came out of high school?
Yes.
That, I
Yeah.
mean, they
And
do it all the
also,
time.
your alma mater didn't they get Cade Cunningham's brother as like their new assistant coach?
Oh yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, I mean,
Or,
coaches have like that. MPJ was the most famous of that when Michael Porter Jr.'s dad got an assistant coaching spot at Missouri. That was like the most
hmm.
famous time that happened. But yeah, that
Yeah.
happens all the time.
It's crazy.
Uh, that happened
But
with
hey, if it works.
the guy from The Blind Side too. You know that?
Mm-mm.
Uh, what's that guy's name? The big man,
Michael
Michael Orr.
or
His high school coach was Houston Nutt, and then Ole Miss signed him to be like their offensive coordinator, and he was like, "Oh, I'll go there."
I mean, if
Uh,
it works, see you in Denver. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
Monty was a nice little player, sort of a poor man's Muggsy Bogues. Monty was a nice kid, worked hard in practice and all that, but the real point of him being there was to get David. We brought David to one of our playoff games in Denver and had a big party for him. In the arena was a huge sign that said, "Welcome David Thompson." David was introduced to this really does just sound like college. David was introduced to the crowd and received a standing ovation from our packed house. Atlanta had his draft rights in the NBA. David went to see the Hawks play, and there were about 3,000 people at the Omni. We came off as much more major league than the Hawks did, so we knew we had a real shot at David. And then here's David Thompson with a little bit. I really could have played for any ABA team that I wanted. The league would just ask you, where do you want to play?
Yeah, might as well.
Denver had a great franchise. I knew Carl Shear and Larry Brown, so they were a natural for me. Atlanta wasn't in good shape back then. Really, it was an easy choice. It didn't matter that Denver was in the ABA because the Nuggets were very big league. And then Carl Shear, finally, the last thing. We cut a deal to pay David $450,000 a year for 3 years, which made him the highest paid player in the ABA. The league chipped in and helped us pay some of his salary, although I don't recall how much. So they really like the league just had to have this guy. It
Yeah.
wasn't as much as 50% or anything like that, but they did help us. Once we signed Thompson, then we made a deal with Virginia for his rights. It was almost after the fact. So they wanted something, so we gave them
Good
Matt
Lord.
Calvin, Mike Green, and Jan Van Breda Kolf for the
They
rights to
wanted
Thompson,
something, so whatever.
and George Irvin. So they just traded like, I mean, Mac Calvin is not a nobody, but you know,
Yeah.
uh, traded basically for nothing. So with that out of the way, now they had Thompson, they had Simpson, they had Jones, they had Beck, and Shear also made a shrewd move. If you remember from, I don't remember if it was last time out, but a few times out ago, the Baltimore Claws franchise had just started in the last year in
Hmm.
1976, and it was not doing well. So they decided to trade Robish to the Claws for Dan Issel,
Hmm.
who is
Yeah.
one of the greats of the ABA. And the team now was electric. They were routinely selling out the new 18,000 seat stadium, outdrawing almost every NBA team.
Yeah. 18,000. I mean, that's like today's numbers.
Yeah. Denver also holds the record for the most players from one team in the All Star game. So they were
Okay.
so good at basketball. The best
Yeah.
team in the league, some would say.
Yep.
12 players from their team were in the All-Star game.
Oh my gosh. That's and okay. There's 9 teams.
Yeah.
30 players in the All-Star. Do we know how
It's
many
12 on
players?
12.
Was it separated by anything, or was it
So the
just?
1976 All-Star game was the Denver Nuggets versus the,
Oh my
the
gosh, that's
ABA's
so
All-Stars.
stupid. And they probably won.
And the Denver won 144 to
Oh
138
my
behind 29
gosh,
points from David Thompson.
that's nuts. I also though I know that this like the All-Star team would win today because the league is so deep,
Yeah.
but I was thinking the other day about I think we talked about this how like the worst player on the Thunder would start on like the if you took the bottom 3 teams
Yeah.
like they're probably a starter on this. So like I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
how many
Who's the
teams.
worst? Who's the Thunder's worst player? Is it, I mean, because I would have said like Mitchell, Ajay. How do you say his first name? Ajay
AJ
Mitchell?
Mitchell, the
It's
guy
just
that just dropped
AJ?
30. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would have said him, but now he's like in a Wally Pipp situation where he's just like outplaying everybody that's hurt.
Yes. He did it last year too before he got hurt, but
Really?
like if you took the bottom 5 teams, 10 teams,
Yeah.
like and put together all their best players, could they beat the Thunder?
I don't know.
You know?
It's a tough one.
Think
Uh,
about it.
so that is actually that dunk contest is actually very notable, not because of it having the record for most All Stars from one team, but because it was the first ever slam dunk contest.
Nice.
So the hometown crowd was treated to an absolute war between Julius Ervin, David Thompson, Artis Gilmore, George Gervin, and Larry Keenan. But even
Golly.
before it started, everyone knew it was a battle between Ervin and Thompson.
Yeah.
Ultimately, also the can you guess the reward for winning the dunk contest the first year?
It's 1970 what?
6.
I'm gonna guess a car
Mm.
of some kind. Maybe a Chevrolet Bel Air. I
One
don't know if they
thousand
made those.
dollars and a stereo system.
A stereo system. Much better.
Ultimately, of course, the good doctor came out on top over Skywalker with his famous free throw line slam. Doc also got the last laugh when it counted. In the playoffs, the Nuggets topped the Kentucky Colonels in the semifinals, but lost to Irving's Nets in the finals, ending their
Dang.
last shot for ABA gold. However, it was not all bad for the Nuggets because, as mentioned previously, they were one of the teams that made the move to the NBA after the 76 season. And unlike most ABA teams, they were pretty much just as good in the NBA as they were in the ABA. They actually won the Midwest Division during their first year in the league and got a bye in the first round of the playoffs. And then they went up against Bill Walton and Maurice Lucas's Trailblazers.
Ooh, yeah.
They did lose in 6, but for what it's worth, those Trailblazers won the title that year. So
Yep.
they did lose to the eventual champions. And here we go. Let's just go quickly through some of the what happened to the rest of the players, so you know. David Thompson made the All Star team during his first 3 years in the NBA, so he was a 4-time All Star to start off his career. But his drug abuse started to greatly impact his play. Then he blew out his knee in 1984 during a fight at Studio 54. By 86, he was reportedly spending over $1,000 a day on cocaine.
Oh my gosh. I
He
don't
went to
know.
I mean, I don't even know how, like, how do you even smoke that much cocaine or snort that much, whatever you do with cocaine?
Maybe he just
I
bought
don't,
really expensive cocaine.
it's really clean. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about cocaine. So
Yeah.
the
Not
only
my
thing I know,
area of expertise.
the only thing I know about, I am an expert of cocaine energy, which is an energy drink they used to make that
Okay.
was called cocaine. And it was really
Nice.
powerful, really good. And then they had to take it off the market because of the
Too
connotation.
much.
And it came back
Hmm.
and they said then it was called unlabeled because they made like a cutout symbol around where the logo used to be and just had a blank
Yeah.
thing there. That's the only cocaine I know. And I'll tell you this for free, since we're deep into the podcast. I drank about 5 of those one day, and
Oh
my
my
poop
God.
fizzed.
Yeah, don't do that. All kids at home, don't drink more than one, I think, a day.
It was I can't remember. There was another one called Spike Shooter back in the day that was also very powerful. I can't
Okay.
remember which one of them, but it was like on the bottle. It was like we recommend you drink half of this.
I think most of them should say that.
Now, Dave and I recently came back from a trip to Virginia, and on the drive back, I popped at least 6 bangs.
6 bangs?
Yeah, do you know what bangs
I
are?
don't know what that. No, I don't know what that
Okay,
means.
so do you not watch How to with John Wilson?
No.
Oh, okay. First of all, one, you got to watch that show.
On
But
it.
do you watch the Nick? Not Nick. What's his name?
Nathan for you.
Yeah, Nathan for you.
I know they're like related some way.
Yeah, they're brother and sister. Um, no, sorry. So okay, so it's just like a crazy energy drink, and there's one episode of How to with John Wilson where he just like somehow ends up in the CEO of Bang's house like on accident, and
Okay.
then it's like the guy's wife's birthday party and he's just like hanging out with this guy that he doesn't know. It's very weird, but
Love it.
it's wild.
Okay, Bang energy drink.
Yeah. I had like 5 or 6 of those because I drove pretty
I'm
much
not
the whole
really
way.
in the energy drink world, so I'll have to go look for one.
I used to be deep into the energy drink game. I'm not quite as deep as I used to be because uh I'm old, but still do every once in a while, still pop one. All right. So David Thompson, back to him. Again, he was on $1,000 a day of cocaine. He this one a little dark here. He went to jail the next year for assaulting his wife, but has fortunately since then turned his life around. Skywalker was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1996.
Okay.
Dan Issel stuck with the team for 10 years after the trade, so he finished his career in Denver. The big man, of course, had his best days in Kentucky, which we'll talk about in one of the next 3 episodes because we only have 3 of these left. But the horse is still a legend in Denver. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1993. And then finally, the guy you don't know, which is, I guess, not that surprising, but a little surprising, Bobby Jones had epilepsy throughout his life, and the Nuggets felt like it was getting worse. So they traded him to the 76ers in 1978. He went on to play for 8 more years, winning one Six Man of the Year in 1983 and establishing himself as one of the best defenders of his era, earning the nickname the Secretary of Defense. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2019. And then both coaches, Hanum and Larry Brown, joined the trio in the Hall in 1998 and 2002, respectively. And that is the story of the Denver Nuggets, at least through 1976. Of course, they've gone on to, win a title. Recently, they have the best player in the world,
I
by
was gonna
my
say
estimation.
they're another team that I would put up against if you took like the bottom 10 teams
Yeah,
against
they look
the current Nuggets.
yeah,
I
they
would
look really
be
good. They look really good this
yeah.
year. So that
Yeah.
is the story. Dave, you have anything you want to talk about modern basketball for a second, or you want to get out of here?
Um I'm scared for modern Thunder basketball.
I would be very Wimby, that boy coming.
Yeah, that's insane. But also the
Dude,
fact that we were 2 games down, both of them had gone to double overtime, and at this rate, I just feel like we might not make it to the postseason because we'll
yeah,
be
you're
burnt out.
all your players are gonna die. Yeah, I
Um,
think I mean everybody they're gonna get everybody's best game for a while,
yeah,
right? Like
it's
everyone's gonna
so
try
good
their
to be
hardest.
back. It's so good to be
It's
back.
wild that like we're seeing playoff basketball in October.
Yeah, there have
I'm
been so
usually
many good games.
I'm usually a proponent of like I don't watch basketball until the All-Star break, but I've been glued to the TV
Yeah, you're missing out if you're waiting.
because it's been really good. Wimby has
And the
been
Cup
incredible.
starts next week.
I will say it if did you watch the highlights from that Mavs Spurs game?
Yes.
If Cooper Flag had hit that first alley oop, I think I might have just died. That would have been, oh my God, what a moment.
Yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is
And then he was not very good, but
yeah,
after that,
he's
but
probably going to be really good,
yeah,
but Wimby might be 3 times better.
it's not even, I hate, again, this is why I hate the generational prospect label. Like, he can't be a generational prospect if Wimby just happened. Cooper Flag is
Hmm.
not that good. He's not that guy.
I don't think anyone called him a generational. I always heard he
Uh,
was like
People have been calling him that
the most
100%.
I always heard that he was like the highest floor, but like maybe he's not going to ever be a superstar.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I am really so I on social media posted my 5 hot takes for the season, and I went back and forth almost saying VJ Edgecombe is going to win Rookie of the Year as one of them, and I'm so mad
Yeah.
that I switched it to the Hawks are going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is a good hot take. But um,
You
let's see if you
convinced me on the Hawks.
let me see if you agree with any of these hot takes. Hold on, let me pull them up real
Okay.
quick. Got to go on Blue Ski, where the real people go. No, Blue Sky sucks. Actually, it's really bad for NBA stuff. All
Oh
right, here are my
no.
hot takes for the season. The Pelicans will have a 2025 Pistons-like improvement and make the playoffs.
0% chance. Will not happen.
Happening. Book it.
0%.
Number two,
Yeah. Crazy
your
talk.
2026 MVP, Victor Wembanyama.
That might be true for sure. Yeah, I could see that
Number
happening.
three, I had to put this one as becoming trendy now, so it's kind of annoying, but I've been on this for a while. The Magic are your Eastern Conference winners.
It's becoming trendy.
People are saying it.
People are saying, okay, I agree.
And
I love it.
number four was VJ Edgecombe as your Rookie of the Year, but then I changed it to the Magic are playing the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, I don't believe that. It's Knicks all the way,
Number
baby.
five,
Bing bong.
number five, Nuggets are winning the title. Sorry, I apologize.
Oh,
I
come
apologize.
on.
I
Bing
know.
bong. No way.
And then I have a bonus, which is not looking as good as I was hoping it would. But I think
Okay.
actually, it's kind of going exactly how I thought it would, which was they'd be really good at the start and then they would drop off because they're old. Warriors don't make the playoffs without a midseason trade.
Crazy that they just beat the Nuggets.
Yeah, because they're so old. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be good for a while and they're gonna fall off.
I think Jokic is toast, bro.
Jokic is toast.
His that three that he missed, and then he was like casually
That's so
strutting
funny.
back to on defense.
He just wanted to be back to his horses, okay? It's no big deal.
Well, that's a problem if you're Denver and you want to make the playoffs.
No, I think they're fine.
I think
I think Denver's fine.
I think Denver's cooked.
No, what you just said you thought they were good. What are you talking? You said that you thought they could beat an all-star team
Sorry,
with
that's
like
before I forgot that Jokic doesn't care anymore. I think he's out. I think we've been saying that for years. Like, when's the day that he's just going to decide he doesn't want to play anymore? I
You
think
think
we're
it's
there.
happening?
I think he turned 30 or 31 or whatever he is, and he's like, this is too
I
much.
think
I'm just gonna
anybody
go play with my
judging on the
horse.
first two games of the season is crazy.
Nah, it's over.
It's over. I
Chopped.
saw because like even last night people were like, it only took one game for Luca and DeAndre Ayton to figure it out. I'm like, I don't think I believe like one game makes DeAndre Ayton a good player.
I do think the Lakers will be fine because Luca is insane, but
Yeah,
I don't think that means DeAndre Ayton
no,
figured it
for
out.
sure. DeAndre Ayton, I don't think he can. He's never going to be dominating again. You know what I mean?
Literally, the first game, people were like, "This is trash." And all it took was one good performance the next game. So
People just they swing so quickly. And
yeah, we'll
me, I'm
see.
just like a rudder. I'm in the middle,
Yeah,
serene, confident in my knowledge that I know Nikola Jokic is winning a title.
yeah. Sorry, bud. Not happening.
This is me. I'm peaceful. You can't see it on
Can't beat
the
the Thunder. Can't
podcast.
beat the Knicks.
The Knicks,
Can't beat the Magic.
the
Honestly,
Knicks are trash.
Bing bong.
I don't even know what that means. I don't know why you keep saying it. The Knicks suck.
Going all the way, baby.
The Knicks,
Easy. Yeah. It's either
easy.
gonna be them or the Magic for sure.
I think the Knicks are okay.
Cat is gonna make Jokic look silly.
Uh, I made a post about this as well, but in what was the game? It was their first game. It was on TV, so I was like kind of watching it while I was working. The Knicks would go up by like 12 points, and then they would put Cat in, and the other team, whoever they were playing, would come back. I was like, oh, well, look at this! Wow, he's such a good player, but he
No,
can't play defense.
no.
It happened every
Don't need
time. It happened three
don't need
times.
defense.
Three times. It was like I think it was the Pacers. It was like, oh, the Pacers are out of this game. They're losing by 12 or 15 points, and then Cat was in. Oh, our defense just goes to trash. We're terrible now.
When your offense is that good, you don't need defense.
Keep saying that. I mean, I guess the Heat did score like 146 points last night at the time of this
Yeah.
recording. So if you could do that, then it doesn't really matter. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We will be back next time. I believe we have left the. Let me look at my list. We have the Colonels, which is going to
Okay.
be maybe next. We might do the Americans, maybe,
Okay.
but we have the Americans, the Knicks, the Knicks, sorry, the Colonels, and the team that will be last, without a doubt, is the Spirit of St. Louis.
Heck yeah, I
So,
cannot wait.
um, where's that Americans team? Because they're a weird one. They move a lot. Is that the Nets? No, that might be the Nets. We might have the net. No, sorry, we have Dallas. We have the Dallas team left.
Intriguing.
I don't know. Maybe we have four of these left. I don't know, but we have a few of these left. We'll be finished by the end of the year. And the last one will be the Spirits of St. Louis. Those are the things I can guarantee for you for right now. And then
Nice.
we will get into some very interesting true crime episodes that I have been
Ooh,
cooking. And then
scary.
just a little spoiler, a little teaser is I can't wait for April. April's going to be very fun.
Love it.
March will also be fun, but for different reasons. April,
I,
the first episode in April will be a blast for me
I
personally.
can't I can't wait.
All right. So we will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bing bong.
Oh, God.